Hello, everyone, and welcome to Masonic Avenue, where we discuss art, philosophy, and Freemasonry. My name is Tony, and I am a Master Mason in San Francisco, California. This video only offers my own personal opinions. It does not necessarily reflect Masonry in general. In today's video, I am very excited to share with you a rather obscure statue in the basement of a famous museum that you can see next time you visit San Francisco. Today we are going to the Legion of Honor. This is a lovely museum in the northwest corner of San Francisco near the area we call Land's End. And if you visit this place, it's absolutely beautiful. The building itself is lovely. It's very impressive. And you have great views of the ocean, the Golden Gate, and the Golden Gate Bridge. As you enter the museum, you're going to see Rodin statues. Rodin is a very famous sculptor. He has there are many Rodin statues at Stanford, for example. But if you go past that and downstairs in the basement, you're going to find the porcelain gallery. This isn't the most popular part of the museum, but this is where you're going to find this treasure that we'll talk about in today's video. This is called the Constant and Henry Bowles Porcelain Gallery. There's a lot of lovely pieces of fine china and porcelain in there. And the item we're going to talk about, you could walk right by this and not even notice it. That's how small it is. You see this figurine with two gentlemen, and at first glance, there's nothing particularly Masonic about either one of them. They certainly are wearing old style clothing, you might guess from the 18th century, from the 1700s. They're both wearing tri-corner hats, which we might see, an image of George Washington wearing something like that. So, at first glance, there might not be anything particularly Masonic about them. I will cheat and point out to you that if you're looking at the placard describing this piece, it's called To Freemasons. So that is a dead giveaway that there's something Masonic about this. But let's talk about their attire. If you look a little closer, there are some clues about the Masonic depiction here. They're both wearing aprons. What does an apron have to do with Freemasonry? Well, the story goes that the modern speculative Freemasons, we call them, the ones that are more interested in philosophy and morality, the reason that they wear aprons is because they share a lineage or a heritage with operative Masons. These would be the working stonemasons from the medieval trade guilds who were chipping away at rocks and building the cathedrals of Europe, or so the story goes. And you would wear the apron to protect your clothing from the little bits of rock and from the heavy materials. Ceremonially, Freemasons still wear these aprons today. So we see both gentlemen wearing the aprons. And when you look a little closer at the gentleman on the right, wearing the pink or purple jacket, he has an interesting looking necklace. And you're probably already familiar with the square and compass. That's one of the more famous symbols of Freemasonry, the square and compass. And his necklace appears to be that of a square. So, what does the square mean? When worn like that, the square medallion, that usually signifies that the person has a presiding officer position that is called the worshipful master. This is the person that leads the lodge. By the way, it's worth pointing out the word worshipful master is easy to misunderstand or misinterpret. To say worshipful master, that does not mean that Freemasons are worshiping the person, not at all. This is an Old English term. To give you a good example, think about if you were to visit a courtroom today in America, what are you going to call the judge? Are you going to say, hey, buddy? No, you're going to say, Your Honor. If not, you could be held in contempt of court, right? So you have to address the judge as Your Honor. And even today in Britain, where a lot of modern masonry originates, you still will hear uh, worshipful masters. Another good example would be here in the U.S. Senate. You might hear terms like the Right Honorable. Right, people might refer to them to each other as the Right Honorable Gentleman, right, something along those lines. So anyway, worshipful master, it's just an old term meaning the presiding officer of the lodge. So uh, who made this? This statue was created by a gentleman named Johann Joachim Kondler. He was a famous German artist in the 18th century, and he actually was a royal court artist for the King of Prussia, and he was best known as a chief sculptor at the Meissen porcelain factory in Germany. Meissen is still around today. They've been making fine porcelain for over 300 years. They're famous for these symbols, for this trademark that you'll find on their porcelain. And interestingly, two Freemasons is not the only such statue in existence. This actually was a very trendy, popular theme. Why two Freemasons? Perhaps it depicts brotherly love, which is a famous and valued tenet of Freemasonry. I would love to end on this great fact that I enjoy. The word museum shares its origin with the word muse. And when you go to a museum, what are you doing? You're musing and you're thinking and perhaps inviting your mind and imagination for the muses and for inspiration. So keep that in mind next time you're in San Francisco. Pay a visit to the Legion of Honor Museum. If you're curious to learn more, I encourage people to check out the California Grand Lodge website. That's at freemason.org. And to learn more about the Legion of Honor Museum, here's their website. Thank you. Have a great day.